UFC 328, Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland just wrapped up, and I'm going to give you my full card breakdown to what happened on this card. And man, was this a good card. Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland had a razor close fight that I think Sean Strickland won pretty clearly. Joshua Van had a fight of the year contender, and a lot of other great fights and finishes happened on this card. So let me break it down. First fight I'm starting with will be the Khamzat Chimaev Sean Strickland fight. Now, I already broke this down in another video earlier today. Go watch that if you haven't already. But man, was this fight good. I broke that down right after it happened. I've had a little more time to reflect on this fight, and I still think Sean Strickland won very clearly. I'm surprised how many people are saying this was a robbery by Khamzat. I know this is probably all Khamzat Chimaev fans, but still, I thought Khamzat pretty clearly lost this fight. I gave Sean Strickland rounds 2, 3, and 5 clearly, and 4 was the closest round of the fight in my opinion. So if anything, it could have been Sean Strickland 4 rounds to 1. Now, I did have it 48-47 Sean Strickland. I gave the 4th round to Khamzat, but that round was razor close. Khamzat Chimaev in that 5th round, the one that people are disputing, and I'm surprised one judge gave it to Khamzat, but in that 5th round, Khamzat and Sean were having a pretty close round until that last minute, where again, Sean Strickland picked it up, and Sean Strickland always finds a way to win those exchanges in the last minute of the fight. Both the DDP fights, he threw caution to the wind, won those last seconds. The Israel Adesanya fight, probably one of his most iconic moments, walking down Izzy, throwing big shots, kind of rocking Izzy a little bit in those last 10 seconds. He did the same thing to Khamzat Chimaev, and that clearly stole him the round, landing big on Khamzat not landing anything. And for some reason, I don't know why Sean doesn't do it in the entire fight. Maybe it's a cardio thing, but he pretty clearly won that 5th round. The 1st round I gave to Khamzat, obviously. Dominant round. Not near enough for Tanate, obviously, but dominant round. 2nd round. And I think this 1st round actually costed Khamzat the fight. He gassed himself trying to go for those subs, squeezing so hard, trying to get that neck crank. He probably burned out his arms. That big slam he got Sean with, not any better for his cardio. And I knew after that big slam that achieved absolutely nothing, where Sean still was working to get back up after that, I knew that was not going to turn out good for Khamzat if he couldn't finish Sean. And he was not able to. Round 2 starts, and Khamzat looks like a shell of his 1st round self. He's completely gassed. He shoots takedowns on Sean just to make the pressure stop. Sean's outstriking him. He shoots a takedown, gets reversed by Sean. Sean stays on top for I think like a minute and a half, gets back up, outstrikes Khamzat. Khamzat shoots a takedown again just to stop the pressure, falls on his back because he's too exhausted, and Sean dives on top of him, controls him for the rest of the round. I think if Sean stood him back up in that round, I think he could have broken Khamzat. I think he could have finished him, but he didn't. 3rd round starts. This round was closer than round 2. Pretty clear for Sean again, but Khamzat did pretty decent in the striking. I think he was getting a little bit of his gas back, hit a little bit of a 2nd win. And then round 4, Khamzat, I think, won that. Stole it with the takedown at the end, pretty even on the feet before that, and then already covered round 5. Great performance from Sean Strickland. Maybe not the most entertaining fight, but a great underdog win from Sean Strickland. And I can't believe I'm saying Sean Strickland is the middleweight champion of the world. Wow. Then we go to Joshua Van Tatsuro Taira. After this fight, I didn't think I'd be able to get hyped for the main event. I thought I'd hit an adrenaline rush with this fight, and I did not know how anything could top this. This fight was amazing. Taira, I've always been a fan of Joshua Van, but Tatsuro Taira, I've kind of just been an appreciator of him. I'm a huge fan now. After this fight, Joshua Van, in the 1st round, lost the 1st round, out-grappled pretty dominantly, but did good to survive and get back up at times. Round 2, Joshua Van picks it up. I believe he knocked down he was outstriking Taira pretty clearly in this round, but not nearly as dominant as round 3. Knocks down Taira in this round twice, I think. Yeah, twice. Pretty dominant round by the champ. Then we go to round 3. I have no clue how Taira was still walking forward in this round. And he ended round 3 pushing the pace, pushed Joshua Van backwards, literally pushed him back, shoved him into the cage, took him down. Taira is a dog, but Joshua Van's boxing is so nice, so crispy. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch fight right now. He was tagging up Tatsuro Taira, slip, dip, and rip, overhands, body shots, those uppercuts, those knees off the takedown attempts were beautiful. And I'm so glad I got to see this fight live. Everyone I was watching it with was rooting for Taira, was saying Taira was going to ragdoll him. I was the only one saying that's not what's going to happen. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Joshua Van, man, he's not a paper champ anymore. And I like that he's playing into the villain role. After the fight, I think he told Pantoja, I'm trying to remember his exact words. He said, come for that belt if you can, or something like that. Like, we can have that rematch if you want it. Like, get your stuff right. And then he laughed right in his face. I love Joshua Van playing the villain, and I think he beats Pantoja. Pantoja, 36 years old as a flyweight, probably will be 37 by the time they fight, coming off a year layoff and an arm injury. Joshua Van looking as good as he did against Taira, and I think Taira is a better offensive grappler than Pantoja in terms of danger factor, in terms of wrestling. I think Pantoja, with his striking and his grappling combined, is a better fighter than Taira. However, all this said, I think Joshua Van beats Pantoja in their rematch, but that's for a different video. Now we have Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Me no black, me Dominican Papi. This was not a robbery in my opinion, but Waldo made this razor close. I gave Volkov the first round pretty clearly, and the next 2 rounds could have gone to either guy, but I gave it to Volkov. I think this was a 29-28. A 30-27 scorecard is pretty clearly a pre-written scorecard. Maybe they were trying to rig this fight for Volkov no matter what happened, just to pay him back for that guy on robbery. But I don't think this was a robbery. I think Volkov was very right in winning this fight. But if it had gone to Waldo, I wouldn't have been too mad. But good win by Volkov. Waldo picked it up after that first round, started throwing caution to the wind a little bit, throwing big hooks, but unfortunately, he is still a heavyweight. So after he threw a couple hooks, he started blobbing out a little bit, got a little bit tired, and Volkov, being an in-shape heavyweight, was able to leg kick at range, but Volkov was tired too. This was a decently high-paced fight for heavyweights, not Hoke Blades type of high-paced, but it wasn't too boring. I like this fight. Volkov was able to win this from his leg kicks, especially in that third round, started hurting Waldo's legs, started stumbling him around a little bit. And in the second round, when Waldo got rocked, that may have cost him the fight because I don't think he was actually rocked. I think he was faking that. He got hit with the shot, rocked and wobbled a little bit, but he did the same thing against Spivak when he wasn't rocked and was faking it to try to draw them in. But the judges don't know that. So I think that may have possibly costed him the fight. I don't know which rounds the judges gave Volkov, but there's a chance. Now, moving on, I don't even want to talk about this Sean Brady-Buckley fight. Sean Brady just blobbed him out. You know I'm a big fan of the Buck. Unfortunately, he's shown a huge weakness to the grappling against Usman and now against Brady. That's a huge problem he's going to have to solve, but I just don't know if he can. Buckley's already, I think he's 33, 32. He's been blobbed twice in a row by 2 grapplers who are amazing grapplers, don't get me wrong, but still. Man, he got absolutely destroyed in this fight. He was taken down, and Sean Brady was landing pitter-patter shots. I will say, Sean Brady's ground and pound was pretty weak. Every time he threw a punch, I could hear the squeaky duck noise landing. He had some good elbows, but even then, I don't think he cut Buckley open, even bruised him, really. Buckley, at the end of each round, just stood up, started mogging, looked completely fine, went back to his corner, got taken down, hit with some pitter-patter shots, and nothing happened to him in terms of damage, really. But it was an absolute domination. So good job to Sean Brady. Sad for my boy, Joaquin Buckley, but we will be back. Us Buck enjoyers will be back. King Green versus Jeremy Stephens. Ladies and gentlemen, King Green is back in his prime. 3 wins in a row against pretty decently good fighters. Now, I know Jeremy Stephens has been out of the UFC for a while. Well, not too long, actually, but he was in bare knuckle right before. But then before that, I'm pretty sure he fought, I can't remember the guy's name. He fought, what's his name? Mason Jones. And he went to a pretty close war. Mason Jones won clearly, but it was a war. It was a great fight. In this fight, King Green just dominated Jeremy Stephens. He outstruck him, took him down, dominated him on the ground. I thought he was going to get a ground and pound TKO before he got that submission. First round submission. King Green is back. Give him that Islam Makhachev rematch. His wrestling has gotten better, and he beats Paddy Pimblett in a rematch as well. He's not getting out-wrestled ever again. he pieces those frauds up on the feet. I'm just joking. But King Green is back. 3-fight winning streak, 2 finishes. Man, I'm happy to see where King Green goes from here. Give him Michael Johnson next. Give him Michael Johnson. Battle of the Youngs. I can't believe they haven't fought yet. Then we had Atiba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. Let's pour one out for Ozzy Diaz. My boy got massacred. He got slaughtered by Atiba Gautier. I was watching this fight live, and I was thinking after that first round, maybe Atiba Gautier would not get that classic slime out win. It would be 2 fights in a row by decision. He was going to lose all his hype. All the worst possible case scenarios are running through my head, but luckily, he's still Atiba Gautier, and he slimed out Ozzy Diaz exactly like he should have. Ozzy Diaz fell on his knee, probably towards ACL, his MCL, his meniscus, everything. Poor Ozzy Diaz, because he wasn't doing too bad. He lost round 1. He was losing round 2, but he wasn't doing horribly. He was landing shots on Gautier, not getting hit with too many huge shots, but all it takes is one. Got put out cold by Atiba Gautier. And by the way, I just want to say, I don't believe Gautier saying he doesn't lift weights. I don't know if you guys have heard that. He said he doesn't lift weights because it's boring. Did you guys see him in that cage? If he doesn't lift weights, I'm not going to say or put any claims on him. But even people who lift weights, a lot of times have to take a certain substance to look like him. So if he doesn't lift weights, he must be on every substance. Unless Atiba Gautier is on Compound V, I just don't believe he doesn't lift weights. But congratulations to Atiba Gautier. Now we have Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. This is how most people saw the Khamzat Chimaev Sean Strickland fight going. So the round started, they struck in the feet just a little bit, and Yaroslav Amosov took him down, dominated him on the ground. Joel Alvarez was able to get back up, almost put in a head and arm choke in the first round, a standing head and arm choke, but got out of it, taken back down, dominated on the ground, had no real success in that first round, except pulling a half guillotine that was not going to work. He was out of position. Then in that second round, he did okay on the feet for a few seconds, landing a couple strikes, then got taken down, instantly put into an arm triangle, and choked out. Congratulations to Yaroslav Amosov. He's going to be a problem at middleweight. And this just begs, at welterweight, sorry. And this just begs the question, how good is Neil Magny? Now, I know he did worse than Joel Alvarez. However, I don't know. He was looking crafty in that fight. I think in a rematch, Neil Magny wins that fight. In all seriousness, though, Yaroslav Amosov will be a problem, and I could see him moving up the division pretty quickly. He's only 33 years old as well. He has 2 great finishes, both by submission, showed dominant wrestling in both of them. He's going to be a problem. Congratulations to Yaroslav Amosov. Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Mateusz Rebecki might be the dumbest fighter in the world after this fight. Grant Dawson dominated him in the grappling in the first round. Then the second round came around, and Rebecki was beating Grant Dawson on the feet. He rocked him multiple times, and he would have won this fight in the third, I think, if he didn't go for the grappling himself against Grant Dawson, one of the best grapplers at lightweight, if nothing else. And a man who has a glass chin, mediocre striking, and pillow punches. Why would Rebecki not want to keep this on the feet? But of course, he went for the grappling, got reversed. And then at the end of the round, after being controlled for the entire round, I think he got a little bit desperate, tried to get to his feet, had his neck taken. And Rebecki doesn't really have a neck, so he was able to fight it off for a while with that goblin neck. But eventually, Grant Dawson found his way under the chin, choked him out. Rebecki tapped. Sad for Rebecki. He's on I think a 3-fight losing streak now, and his only fight in his last 5 that he's won, I think, was oral by, which is insane. But congratulations to Rebecki for beating Grant Dawson. Congratulations to Grant Dawson. That's how unbelievable this is for me. Congratulations to Grant Dawson for beating Rebecki. I think Rebecki threw this fight away. Jim Miller, Jared Gordon. Now, I know you probably want to hear me talk about this fight, but the most important thing that happened in this fight was that during the nut shot, we got the iconic line from Joe Rogan talking about steel tie cups. During the nut shot, that's all he could talk about. He wasn't covering anything else. What had happened in the fight? I know it was early in the fight, but still, all he was talking about was the steel tie cups, and that made this fight of the night for me. I could rewatch this all day. But in all seriousness, during this fight, Jim Miller, Jared Gordon, pretty close on the feet. Jared Gordon shoots a takedown, stuffs his head right in the Jim Miller guillotine. I think he had gotten a takedown earlier in the fight as well. Yeah, he did. It was right before that nut shot. No, right after that nut shot, actually. He got nut shotted, then got the takedown after the nut shot. He shot another takedown and then stuffed his head right in the Jim Miller guillotine. And that was all she wrote. Jim Miller got his iconic sub. Unk still got it. Congratulations to Jim Miller. Now, Roman Kopylov, Marco Tulio. Us Roman Kopylov enjoyers are so back. Roman Kopylov was looking bad at the beginning of this fight. He looked like he did not know how to fight. He forgot how to fight. He was landing good on Marco Tulio, but Tulio was just so much more consistent than he was, landing better shots, harder shots, in my opinion. Kopylov was way quicker than him, but he just wasn't throwing for some reason. Then came round two. Same exact story was happening as round one. He was losing. Then he got the knockdown. He got multiple knockdowns, actually. How many did he get in this round? He got 3 knockdowns in this round, but he kept clinching. I think he could have gotten the finish, but he kept letting Marco Tulio recover. I'm not sure why. Maybe he didn't have the confidence in his finishing instincts, didn't want to gas out too much, but I'm happy that he got those knockdowns because that clinched up this round for him pretty clearly. And then same exact story in round 3, got the knockdowns, clinched up, let Marco Tulio recover. I think he probably should have just got back to range and kept throwing, but maybe he didn't want to gas. But either way, congratulations to Roman Kopylov, back on a win. And he only lost to Evil Obama and Paulo Costa, both great aged wins since then. Evil Obama, RoboCop, has gotten a first round KO over Bruno Ferreira. And then Paulo Costa just beat, what's his name? The big blob maxer at light heavyweight, Dagestani. How am I forgetting his name? Whatever his name is. You guys know I know what his name is. Come on. Obviously. It's I'm not a casual, guys, I promise. I know his name, you know his name, we know his name. It's Azamat Mirzakhanov. Azamat Mirzakhanov. You guys know I knew that. All right. Pat Sabatini, William Gomis. Skipping this fight. I won't skip it. Only reason I'm not skipping this is so I can say how much I hate Pat Sabatini. Someone has to slime out Pat Sabatini in his next fight. How do you get 4 minutes and 50 seconds of clinch control time? How? I want to see the exact stats for this first round. First round, 16 total strikes, 3 of them significant. They were all knees to the thigh. 8 total strikes from William Gomis. Again, knees in the clinch, little baby pitter-pat punches. But because he couldn't get out of that clinch, Pat Sabatini was doing just enough not to get separated by the ref by looking busy. I think he still should have gotten separated at certain points, but he was looking busy enough, trying to get the back, trying to get the takedown, slam William Gomis. William Gomis got right back up. No real control time for Sabatini in that first round. Second round comes, same story, except William Gomis gets to range at some point, escapes the clinch, lands the better shots, and wins this round, in my opinion. See those? Yeah, more significant strikes. All these strikes Pat Sabatini landed were all pitter-patter. Landed a couple at range, but I still think William Gomis won that second round. Then the third round, I will give to Pat Sabatini because not only did he land the little pitter-pat strikes in the clinch, got the close takedowns, but he also landed decent when they're at range for that 1 or 2 minute period. Congratulations. No congratulations to Pat Sabatini. Someone slime him out in this next fight, and you will be my favorite fighter. Baisangur Susurkaev versus Jordan Santos. Again, exactly as predicted. A late finish by Baisangur Susurkaev while not looking too good in the early parts of the fight because of his showboating. I predicted this to a T. I said Baisangur Susurkaev was too, how do I say this? He thinks he's better than he is, which then makes him worse than he can be. He taunts, he showboats when he shouldn't be because there's not that big of a skill gap. And then by doing that, he's making his performances look worse. I think he had a razor close first round in this fight, won the second round, got the finish in the third, but he could have done so much better by not showboating. I'm not that high on Baisangur Susurkaev. He's not that good of a prospect, in my opinion, but he's young. He has a lot of time to get better, so congratulations to him. Then Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. Again, exactly as I predicted. Jose Ochoa just had the better danger factor. Nearly finished Clayton Carpenter in there. Basically finished him in there with those body shots. But Clayton Carpenter was able to dog it out. Got to a decision, but exactly as I predicted. So congratulations to Jose Ochoa. Let's see how I did on this card. I predicted Jose Ochoa. So 1-0, 2-0. I predicted William Gomis. So 2-1, 3-1. 3-2, I predicted Jared Gordon. 3-3, I predicted Rebecki. 3-4, I predicted Joel Alvarez. 4-4, I predicted Atiba Gautier. 5-4, I predicted King Green. 5-5, I predicted Buckley. 5-6, I predicted Waldo. 6-6, I predicted Van. And then for this fight, I know I said Sean Strickland has a 50-50 chance of winning this. I said he had a great chance. I feel like that should count for me. But I did technically predict Khamzat, so 5-6. I did pretty horribly on this card. But a lot of the fights I got wrong were razor close. And with the main event, I think I gave Sean Strickland a better chance than almost anyone did. And in my last minute prediction video, I did say Sean Strickland has all the tools to win this, and I predicted exactly how this fight would go. Only thing I got wrong was who the winner would be. However, I'm not mad at it. I am a little mad at it. I should have picked Sean. I should have picked Sean, but you win some, you lose some. So remember to like and subscribe. I'll be releasing videos every day. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.